Attention passionate Atlanta, Falcons fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Atlanta, FALCONS, FANS. Let's get to the news, so buckle up, Falcons fans, because the NFL rumor mill has just dropped a bombshell that could reshape the landscape of the NFC South, and honestly, the entire NFC playoff picture. We've got whispers swirling around a potential trade that would see one of the league's most electrifying wide receivers, Justin Jefferson of the Minnesota Vikings, making his way to Atlanta in a blockbuster deal. Now I know what you're thinking. Is this real? Could this happen? Well, the chatter is gaining momentum, and it's coming from some credible sources, including Diana Rossini, who's known for breaking some of the biggest stories in the league. The speculation is that after November 4th, 2025, the Vikings might actually pull the trigger on trading Jefferson and the rumored destination, the Atlanta Falcons. Now, let's break down what this means, not just for the Falcons, but for the entire NFC. First off, Jefferson isn't just any receiver. He's a route-running wizard, arguably one of the best in the league at creating separation and making contested catches look routine. We're talking about a guy who, in 2025, through just 10 games, already has 56 receptions on 93 targets for nearly 750 yards, averaging over 13 yards per catch, with 2 touchdowns. His YAC, yards after catch, is impressive at 4.8 yards per reception, and he's consistently been a top-tier player with a PFF grade of 90. That's elite-level production, and it's no stretch to say that adding Jefferson to the Falcons' offense could be a game-changer. Now, imagine the Falcons with a legitimate deep threat and a receiver who can take the top off defenses, especially with the current struggles Atlanta's been facing in the passing game. After losing Drake London to injury in Week 8 due to a hamstring issue, the Falcons have been relying heavily on their run game and short to intermediate routes. But the passing attack, despite some flashes, has lacked that explosive element that Jefferson could provide. His speed, running a 4.43 40-yard dash, combined with his contested catch rate of 55%, makes him a nightmare for defenses. He's the kind of receiver who can turn a slant into a long gain or win jump balls in tight coverage, elevating the entire offense. What makes this deal even more intriguing is the context of the Vikings' situation. They are currently sitting at 4-6, and reports suggest they're in a rebuilding phase. Their cap space is tight at around $6 million, which is not much when you consider they're also working on extensions for key players like Darisaw. Plus, the Vikings' defense has been leaking points, allowing over 232 points so far, indicating that they're perhaps doing a bit of a rebuild on that side of the ball as well. The offense, which once averaged around 8 points per game, has taken a hit, especially with a decline of about 18% in EPA per pass without Jefferson. This has led to some skepticism about their future competitiveness, especially in a division where the Lions are dominating with nearly 30 points per game and seem to be a step ahead in the NFC North. The potential trade would see the Vikings requesting a first-round pick in the 2026 draft, a hefty price, but one that could be justified given Jefferson's talent and the fact that he's only 25 years old with several prime years ahead. For the Falcons, this is an opportunity to accelerate their rebuild, especially on offense. They could use Jefferson's speed and playmaking ability to complement Drake London and Kyle Pitts, creating mismatches all over the field. The Falcons' passing game, which currently ranks around 75 PFF grade with 2.0 yards per route, could see a boost of around 2.5 points, making their offense more dynamic and less predictable. Let's not forget, Atlanta's offense has been trending upward. With Desmond Ridder at quarterback, there's a sense that the team is starting to click, and adding a weapon like Jefferson could push them over the edge. It's about creating a balanced attack, one that can threaten defenses vertically and horizontally, forcing opponents to respect the deep ball and opening up the run game even more. The Falcons' offensive line, which has had its struggles, might also benefit from having Jefferson to help draw attention and create space for the running backs and other receivers. Now, I know some of you might be thinking about the risks involved. Trading a first-round pick is always a gamble, especially when you consider how vital draft capital is for building the roster long-term. But in this case, Jefferson's proven production and youth make him a worthy investment if it means elevating the Falcons' chances of contending sooner rather than later. Plus, with the NFC South still wide open, especially with teams like the Panthers and Saints currently rebuilding or underperforming, the Falcons could seize this opportunity to establish dominance in the division. Looking at the bigger picture, this move could also have playoff implications. Jefferson has proven to be a playoff dynamo before, with the ability to step up when it counts the most. His presence could boost the Falcons' odds of making a deep postseason run, especially if the defense can hold its own. The NFC is wide open, and having a weapon like Jefferson could be the difference in close games, turning the tide in Atlanta's favor. His addition could also serve as a statement to the rest of the league that the Falcons are serious contenders, ready to make bold moves to climb to the top. Of course, all of this hinges on whether the Vikings are truly willing to part ways with Jefferson, and whether the Falcons are willing to part with a first-round pick. But don't be surprised if this rumor heats up in the coming weeks. The NFL is all about bold moves, and sometimes a franchise's window opens just a crack, and you've got to be ready to jump through it. For the Falcons, acquiring Jefferson could be that window, an opportunity to not just compete but to contend for the Super Bowl. As fans, we all love to dream about the possibilities, and adding a superstar like Jefferson would be a dream come true. It would instantly upgrade the Falcons' offense, excite the fan base, and send a clear message to the league that Atlanta is serious about winning now. Whether or not this trade materializes, it's exciting to think about what the future could hold if the Falcons are willing to make such a bold move. And now, Atlanta Falcons fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Atlanta Falcons. Do you think this trade makes sense? Would you be willing to give up a first-round pick for Jefferson? Do you believe it could be the spark that finally gets Atlanta over the hump and into playoff glory? I'm eager to hear your thoughts because, honestly, these kinds of rumors, they fuel our passion as fans and keep the NFL season exciting. I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Atlanta Falcons news, and let's hope that this rumor turns into reality, because if it does, we might just be witnessing the start of a new chapter, one where the Falcons become even more formidable and ready to chase that Super Bowl dream. Thanks for tuning in, Falcons family. Keep the faith, keep the passion, and let's keep believing that brighter days are ahead.